Welcome to Job Search and Job Applications, presented by CareerSource, Southwest Florida. Many job candidates approach their job search without an effective job search strategy. In today's competitive job search market, it's not enough to just apply. You need to know the best job hunting strategies and implement them in your search. The irony of job search advice: there's so much available that you don't have to spend more than 4 seconds Googling before you land on some nugget of wisdom or another. Yet at the same time, there's so much available, some of which completely contradicts other advice you'll find, that it can easily overwhelm you. When you apply for a job via an online application process, it is very likely that your resume will first be screened by an applicant tracking system, and then, assuming you make this first cut, move on to a human resource person. The first human resource person that reviews your resume is often a lower level HR person or recruiter who may or may not understand all of the nuances of that job for which you're applying. Thus, it behooves you to make it very simple for both the computer and the human to quickly connect their "here's what we're looking for" to your "here's what you can walk through our doors and deliver." You want that job search to last and last? Well, then continue to rely solely on submitting online applications. You want to accelerate this process? Don't stop once you apply online for that position. Start finding and then endearing yourself to people working at that company of interest. Schedule informational interviews with would-be peers. Approach an internal recruiter and ask a few questions. Get on the radar of the very people who might influence you getting an interview. So how do people find new jobs? Well, let's take a look. As you can see, networking is the fastest way to land a job. One survey revealed that 85% of jobs are filled through networking. That's right, 85%. If you have spent any time in college or the workplace, you have a network. You have contacts, coworkers, bosses, friends, and other connections. You should utilize that network to your advantage. In fact, networking continues to be one of the best ways to find a job fast. Often your contacts will have inside knowledge of job opportunities that you might otherwise miss. In short, let your network know that you're in the market for a new job. The job search process should be simple. You, as a job seeker, look for a job, apply through a variety of mediums, attend an interview, and then follow up with the employer to find out if the employer is interested in offering the job. This leads to you getting hired by the employer. However, it seems that many people are stuck looking for jobs, applying for jobs, and interviewing for jobs without realizing the results of becoming employed. This can be exhausting and frustrating. The components of a successful job search are not as hidden as we think they are. Job seekers need to be able to job search in a manner that catapults them into employment so their careers can lift off. This video will help you move from managing job search frustration to achieving job search success by using strategies and tips of the trade. So let's get started. Many job seekers looking for work commit critical errors that prevent them from progressing past job search into employment. One of the critical errors includes not preparing for the job search process. Many job seekers simply jump right into applying for work without organizing their space, time, and efforts. This, of course, is understandable. When a person needs to find a job to make ends meet, the first logical step is to open the newspaper or get on the internet and start applying for jobs. However, job seekers who organize themselves before applying for work secure work faster. This is because their time and energy are focused. Additionally, organized job seekers spend more time searching than those who are not organized. Let's look at why being organized is so important. So let's imagine that you are the hiring manager of a hospital and have an open position for a unit clerk. Our job seeker, Mary, decides to apply for this position to get her foot in the door at a medical facility. On Monday, you receive Mary's resume with a cover letter requesting that her application be considered for a position posted in the Employ Florida or EF system. On Friday, however, you receive another resume from Mary. This resume has a different cover letter and asks that her resume be considered for the same job which was also posted in the newspaper. In both Employ Florida and the newspaper, the employer name and job title were identified. As the employer, you might wonder, is Mary simply trying to stand out, or is Mary not organized? Because you have over 100 job seekers applying for the job, you may simply choose not to pay attention to Mary's resume. Why? Because a unit clerk in your hospital has to be able to pay attention to details, and Mary does not seem qualified for the job. Why? Simply because she applied for the job twice. So did Mary waste her time creating another cover letter? Time is valuable during the job search process. You do not have time to waste, and Mary now has wasted an hour of her job search efforts to create a cover letter for a job that she has already applied for. In addition to wasting her time, she has painted herself into a corner with this employer. Before Mary gets started job searching for a clerical job in a hospital or other medical facility, she needs to get organized. This does not have to take a lot of time or money. There are a lot of ways to get organized using simple tools. We will discuss tools available on most computers, as well as some job search tools available using supplies found at an office supply store. Most employed individuals go to an office or another workspace, even when they work out of their homes. Job seekers need to think of job searching as their full-time job. Why? Job seekers who spend more time job searching find jobs faster than those who spend less time job searching. One way to spend more time job searching is to set up a job search space. This space includes a space at home and tools to make the workspace mobile. Set up space in your home to maintain supplies needed for job searching. Supplies that are useful include pens, pencils, highlighters, sticky pads, a notepad, and a calendar. The materials should be maintained in one location so you can access them at any time. Additionally, this creates a specific workspace that will encourage you to report to work as a job seeker each day. Some supplies are required for success. For example, if employers cannot call or email you to request an interview, how will you ever get hired? As a job seeker, you will need to invest your money in a phone. If you do not have a phone, you may need to secure an inexpensive home service or purchase a prepaid cell phone that is only used to call or receive calls from employers. If you do not have money to get a phone, you will need to find a way to communicate with employers in a reliable and professional manner. Whether you use your own phone or use message boards through a friend or service, it will be important that phone numbers do not change. And remember, phone service must be reliable. Otherwise, employers will become frustrated and simply discard your resume from consideration. Another necessity is an appointment calendar. While some job seekers may print or purchase a calendar, some may choose to use a computer-based tool such as Google or Outlook Calendar. Job seekers may opt to secure Google or Outlook accounts that include both the ability to send emails and to track appointments on electronic calendars on their computer, laptop, tablet, or even their cell phone. Customers who have a cell phone with internet access can review their calendars right from their phones. Calendars should include time blocks broken into hourly increments. There are other tools on the internet that help job seekers track appointments, track where they have applied, and track networking efforts. Let's discuss different internet-based options for tracking job search efforts. Ultimately, we want to expose you to tools that are available to job seekers. You can search job search organizers on the internet. An example of such a job search organizer available on the web is Jibberjobber. This tool helps job seekers track what they do each day, as well as the employers they network with. Jibberjobber was created by a job seeker in an effort to track his own job search efforts. This tool, however, does cost money to access. There are also job search organizers for phones, such as My Jobs, which is an application for the iPhone or other Apple devices. If you are using a computer, you will be able to use Microsoft Excel or other software to track your job search efforts. For example, you may create a spreadsheet and list each employer where an application is filed or resume submitted. The spreadsheet or database will have to be detailed enough to track information effectively. Many job seekers find that using a simple spreadsheet is too cumbersome for tracking job search efforts. Job search efforts result in a lot of information and a lot of data. That is text-based, and it can easily overwhelm your spreadsheet software. If you need to learn more about Excel or Access, you can sign up for classes through our CareerSource Fort Myers Center for classes or search Microsoft and YouTube for great tutorials on how to use the software programs for free. But not everyone has access to the internet at home or has time to use an internet-based job search organization system. Does this mean that they cannot get organized? Keeping a job search organized can be a very simple process using very simple tools. Job search activities can be organized using index cards, an index card box, and an index card organizer, all available at office supply stores for under $10, or try dollar stores, which would be even more inexpensive and cost-effective. The index card box is organized by keeping information about employers in alphabetical order. On each index card, the name of the employer is written down, along with key details about the job openings being applied for. Before ever applying for the job, go to the index card box to see if you have filed an application or resume for the job. If there is no index card associated with a particular job, you then file an application or resume and record the information on the index card to track the actions taken. In this example, there is a job opening at One Big Hospital for a unit clerk in the pediatric intensive care unit. Our job seeker Mary goes to her index box and pulls all cards associated with One Big Hospital. She finds a card which means she has applied for a job with One Big Hospital in the past, but it was for an emergency room clerk. Seeing that she has not applied for this particular job before, she submits a resume based on the instructions found in the newspaper. She then fills out a new index card to record her actions. There is another item every job seeker should have, a document organizer. The simplest form of a document organizer is a two-pocket folder. However, customers may choose to use a 3-ring binder with formal documents kept in sheet protectors, or you may choose to use an accordion file or even a jump drive. Job seekers should keep copies of their resumes to pass out to employers in their document organizers. Document organizers should also include formal copies of your references to provide to employers upon request or at interviews. Job seekers should also keep a copy of their example application in their document organizer. So what is a mobile workspace and what are the benefits? Earlier we stated that some job seekers may need to have a mobile office because they have to travel to the Career Center or library or another site to look for jobs, conduct research about employers, and apply for work on the internet, and more. If you are using the index card system, you can simply take the index cards as well as your document organizer with you to the library, career center, or other site you are using to conduct your job search. By staying organized, you are able to remain in charge of your job search efforts. Just like organizing a job search space, to be effective, you will want to organize your time. Like going to work each day, you need to develop work schedules. So how much time should you spend each day looking for a job? The average is 4 to 6 hours per day. Treating your job search as your primary job each day has many benefits. Your focus during these hours will be looking for work, interviewing for jobs, conducting follow-up activities, and networking with employers. You should use your appointment books or calendars, printed or digital, to decide which days you will job search each week and how many hours you will job search each day. Be aware that managers will want to receive applications or conduct interviews during the work week. However, there may be situations where employers prefer to receive documents or conduct interviews on the weekend. You may need to be flexible. On your calendars, mark the days you will look for work, as well as the hours you will look for work. When you establish the days and times you will look for work, you are essentially setting goals. Job seekers should actually outline the activities to be completed during each hour of job search. Let's return to our job seeker, Mary. In this example, Mary has set goals to achieve. She will apply for jobs in Employ Florida in the morning. She will research employers in the afternoon, as well as attend a resume workshop. At the end of the day, she will be able to review her calendar and note if she is on track or reached her goals. To determine if a job is a good fit, you as a job seeker customer will need to sort through a variety of information. For example, you must be sure you can get to work every day. This means that you should know where employers are located before applying and must be sure you can drive a vehicle or catch a bus to the employer's worksite each day. Employers expect job seekers to ensure that they have a ride to work every day, without exception, before ever applying for a job. If the employer states that the candidate will have to travel as a part of the job seeker must be able to meet those requirements. The job seeker must ensure that he or she will be able to afford the cost of traveling to and from work, as well as the cost associated with the job itself before applying for the job. Additionally, if job seekers are willing to relocate, they may be able to broaden their job search to include a multitude of geographic areas. And here's a tip. Did you know that Employ Florida has a mobile app? You can search for jobs by your address and zip code. This allows those with limited transportation to search in areas close to home. Check it out in your app store and download for free. In addition to knowing that you can travel to the workplace each day, job seekers should also research job details to ensure you meet the minimum qualifications. Job seekers need to make sure they can perform the duties of the job as well as meet the expectations of the employer. Well, why is this important? Let's say a job seeker sends out 50 applications. However, they only qualify for 10 of those jobs. This job seeker has wasted time on 40 applications. Our job seekers must know their own skills. Job seekers must then review job advertisements or postings to ensure they have the skills that employers are looking for. So try and target your job seeking to jobs that you know you have the skills for. You must review job advertisements to determine the education levels required for each job. What are the employer's minimum requirements? They must consider their own education levels and the education levels employers are looking for. Or if employers require any certifications or work history qualifications, job seekers should ensure they meet those minimum qualifications before applying for the job. You also must ensure that you have the skills employers are looking for before applying for that specific job opening. Here we're going to discuss the different skills that employers want. First, we will discuss transferable skills. These are skills that many of us do not realize we possess. These are skills that easily transfer from one job to another because they are skills that can be used in different jobs. Transferable skills may include personality traits that help customers adapt to different environments, as well as management skills that help job seekers manage a variety of situations and organize information. So, why are transferable skills so important? Well, if you are facing a layoff, or if you're a new graduate looking for your first job, or returning to the workforce after an extended absence, transferable skills may be the link or the bridge that will help you transition to the new job. So let's take a look at some examples of transferable skills. On the left side of the table, you will see several general transferable skills. These can be such as arriving on time, show up to work each day, are you honest, dependable, conscientious, organized, motivated, creative. On the right-hand side of the table, you will see specific skills that can transfer from one job to another. For example, a person who is helpful as a customer sales rep may also be helpful while working in a hospital. Additionally, if the same sales rep was good at giving public speeches, the sales rep may also make a great trainer for human resource department. Job-specific skills are just as critical as transferable skills. Job-specific skills are those skills that are required to complete specific tasks while on the job. The employer often lists the required job-specific skills in job advertisements or job postings. If the information is not found in the advertisement, you should review the job duties associated with a similar position and ensure that you can do the job. So what do you do if the employer does not require specific education levels, certifications, or work history? Sometimes the job posting will state specific education levels, certification skills, or work experiences are preferred but not required. Should a job seeker apply for such a job if they meet the minimum requirements and is interested in the job? Of course. The job seeker should use the cover letter, application, and/or resume to show off their talents to the employer. But only if you meet the minimum requirements. Additionally, you can identify your ability to work hard and learn new skills. If you're interested in additional training or certification, you can tell the employer that you are open to new learning opportunities. So what does all of this mean? Before you as the job seeker apply for a job, you must ensure that you are qualified for the job, ready to go to work for the employer, and ready to meet the demands of the job. You also must keep up with each application filed and resume submitted to monitor your next steps and ensure you do not apply for the same job multiple times. The reality is, most people do not want to job search. Most people are looking for a job because they have to. Looking for a job is very hard work. Like working, job seekers have to organize their space, time, and efforts in order to make the job search endeavor a successful one. Let's discuss job applications in general. It is an important part of the hiring process. The employer is able to gather more specific information on you than they can get just from your resume. Applications can be a pretest, so to speak. Employers look to see if you follow all of the directions. It is vital that the information, specifically the dates, match on the resume and the application. Once job seekers have gotten organized, the next step in the job search process is to get recognized. The most common way for job seekers to be recognized is through the application process. Filling out an application is an important part of the job search process. Most employers require job seekers to fill out an application at some point during the hiring process to collect information not found on the resume. For example, many applications request information about felony convictions. Job applications serve a lot of purposes, but most importantly, job applications help employers screen out candidates quickly. Once again, imagine you are the hiring manager at a large hospital. You post a position for a clerk in the newspaper and in Employ Florida or the EF system. At the end of the first week, you receive 100 applications, but you only want to interview 7 people. How do you narrow down 100 applications to less than 10 possible candidates? Actually, it's quite easy. The employer uses the information found in the application to narrow down the possibilities. We do not want job seekers to be disregarded because their applications are not competitive. You want to get noted as potential job candidates. You have to follow the employer directions. In order to be successful as a job seeker, you must concentrate your efforts on filling out applications to the employer's specifications. In this example, the job seeker candidate was asked to record their job history in reverse chronological order. The employer wanted to review the candidate's most recent job information first. However, this customer entered their job history out of order. The first job entry on the application was from January 2010 to February 2011. The next job entry was 2011 to 2012. This employer will simply think that the candidate cannot fill out the form correctly or does not pay attention to critical details. If the employer has 100 applications to look at, this application could simply be thrown out. During the application review process, employers look to see if job candidates can fill out simple forms to specifications. To ensure applications concentrate on what employers want, job seekers must understand that every application is different. Therefore, job seekers must read the directions on the employer's application to fill out the form appropriately. So, applications must be completed based on the job duties and skills employers want. So, what does this mean? Well, many applicants use a one-size-fits-all job application, which is a major mistake. While it is important to have a generic sample applications and resumes actually submitted must be tailored to what employers are looking for. Details entered on applications must be based on what employers want. So let's go back to our previous example. As we stated earlier, you are the hiring manager for a large hospital. You're looking for a unit clerk who will enter orders in the computer for doctors, help patients families, and ensure supplies are stocked. The job advertisement or posting includes these major duties. So you would expect those responding to the job ad to pay attention to those details. However, our job seeker Mary, on her application, you can see her last job only lists the duties, took orders from customers and gave them their food. In this example, Mary did not pay attention to the advertisement and focus on the transferable and job-specific skills that relate to the employer's job posting. Essentially, she did not list skills based on what the employer wanted. She was not concise in completing her application. Applications must include the transferable skills and job-specific skills that you have that will meet the employer needs. Job postings are a great source of information. Essentially, employers tell job seekers exactly what they are looking for through written communication in either Employ Florida or another job search system. You have to read the information found in job postings and use the information to ensure your applications respond to the employer needs. Let's return to our example and focus on helping our job seeker Mary make her application more competitive. After reviewing her job duties, she realizes that she did more than just take orders and hand out food. She also had to stock shelves in the kitchen. She took orders from customers and put them in the computer system, and also assisted in cleaning the restaurant. Additionally, Mary really likes helping people, which is why she wants a job in the hospital. So job seekers must read the information found in job postings and use this information to ensure their applications respond to the employer needs. Let's return to our example and focus on helping Mary make her application more competitive. So after reviewing her job duties, she realized she did more than just take orders and hand out food, as we previously stated. She also took orders from customers, put them in the computer, and assisted in cleaning the restaurant. So Mary reworked her application and highlighted those skills by outlining them in her example application. She then uses this information to fill out the application at the hospital. In this example, we read that Mary greeted customers in a friendly way to demonstrate that they were the focus of the restaurant's business. She also reviewed the menu with customers to answer questions. She took orders, she entered the orders into a computer system, and ensured customers received their food timely. Based on this information, you, the hiring manager, now know that Mary can greet customers, answer questions, take orders from a third party, learn and use specialized computer software, follow up with her customers, stock shelves, work with a manager, identify a need and respond to that need, as well as work with others. This small bit of information really responds to the needs of the employer. And all this the employer gleaned from reading Mary's detailed descriptions of her transferable skills. Job seekers should review job postings and respond to what the employers are looking for, as we previously stated. If the employer's job posting is limited, you can review the occupational profile in the Employ Florida system. This will provide more details for the job seeker. So how do we look up information in Employ Florida associated with a specific occupational profile? For example, you can go into the Employ Florida system and review a host of information on an occupation. To view the information, enter www.employflorida.com in the address bar on the internet. The Employ Florida system will display. This is the introductory page. In the first column, you will see it is titled Job Seekers. Go down to the bar that says select the More button under the Job Seeker column. Once there, this will expand, and at the very bottom, select more job seeker options to move forward. The page titled My Individual Workspace will appear. As you see, you do not have to log in as a registered customer to access information about jobs. To access information about occupation or jobs, scroll down to the bottom of the page, select Occupational Profile under Labor Market Services to move forward. And for our purposes, we're going to use nurse as our job search field. So we would type that into the keyword search option field and click the search button. This then provides a list of nursing occupations in the Leon County, Florida area. As I'm using the training site, I pulled up Tallahassee. The occupations are listed in the order of the score or how much the occupation title matches the keyword used to search. We select registered nurses and move forward. The system provides a summary of the current labor market for registered nurses in Leon County, Florida. This page provides a host of information, including a summary of job duties, the number of jobs available in the community, and other data. This type of research, like you just saw, helps you, the job seeker, fill out applications in a concise manner, which is a critical element of a successful job search. In using this occupational search, you can put in for any area you want. So many job seekers are guilty of not filling out job applications completely. Applications should have every block filled in. Applications must be filled out completely. Let's look at this example. Will the employer guess the information or call the job seeker about the blanks? Because as you can see, there are a lot of blanks on this page. If an element on the specific application does not pertain to you, you should enter NA, which stands for not applicable. Do not leave blanks. In this job market, employers are getting dozens, if not hundreds, of applications to review. If an application is incomplete, employers will simply remove applications from consideration. Job seekers are most likely to leave addresses, phone numbers, employment dates, and salaries blank because they simply do not remember the details associated with past jobs. You should carry a sample application in your document organizer. Sample job application should include all pertinent information, and it should be used whenever you go to fill out applications with employers. Sample application should document critical information such as the job seeker's employment history. This must include each employer's name, full name, address, phone number, and other critical data such as dates of employment. The sample application should also include the job seeker's education history, including what schools you attended, the dates you were in school, and the addresses of the schools. It should also include a list of professional skills that will help you, the job seeker, respond to any specific information request. It's up to the job seeker to maintain and update prior employment history on an ongoing basis. Simply put, you need to become your own mini HR office for prior jobs. Job seeker customers should not submit applications that have grammatical errors. Let's look at this example. Can you find the grammatical errors? I've highlighted them in yellow. Employers will see this and assume that the job seeker cannot communicate using written forms. Grammatical errors on applications, cover letters, and resumes are the quickest ways to be removed from consideration for a job. In a recent survey conducted by the Society for Human Resource Management, 99% of human resource professionals polled stated they have found grammatical errors on either the job seeker's resume or cover letter, and 87% stated they have thrown out an application due to such errors. So, as a job seeker, you should fill out the job application using the correct information and according to your best judgment. Therefore, it is never appropriate to lie on an application. While information may be worded to demonstrate a positive perspective, it's never appropriate for job seekers to be dishonest. When job seekers are dishonest, they lose more than the opportunity to fill a position. In fact, many employers will remove dishonest job seekers from the list of potential candidates for future job openings. So what if the applicant element asks if the job seeker has ever been convicted of a felony? The job seeker must answer yes. It is better to be honest on the application and to respond to the issue directly than to be dishonest. In this example, we see that the applicant has answered honestly and has asked for an opportunity to explain the situation. Additionally, the job seeker provided a cover letter addressing the issue. In the cover letter, the job seeker asked the employer to offer them the opportunity to be bonded using the federal bonding program, which is available through CareerSource Southwest Florida. Prepare in advance by filling out an application and explain any tough situations in a professional manner. Review the language to ensure it is honest and professional. Speak the truth. Never exaggerate or lie about your skills. And next, write the information down on the sample application, which you can take with you to future job sites. So what do I do if I want to impress the employer, but I can't think of job duties that will highlight my skills? Can I make them up? No, this is not right. Think of questions or look at job descriptions of the ONET online to assist with outlining your skills. Then you can take this information and highlight transferable or job-specific skills in a positive manner. However, it is never appropriate to be dishonest on an application or a resume. Well, what do you enter as the reason for leaving if you quit or were fired? There are instances when we have to restate information in a positive manner. For example, what do you enter if you were terminated from the job or essentially quit? We do not want to enter fired or quit under reason for leaving. There are situations where it is not necessarily your fault, and we may be able to enter such information appropriately. In this example, the customer's job was downsized due to the economy, and the application was updated to reflect this. Another example would be you could say that you left for a better opportunity. Well, what do you do if you have a gap in your employment? What if you do have one? Well, once again, review the information. Let's look at Mary again, our job seeker, as an example. Mary has a valid reason for having a gap in her work employment. She had to care for a sick family member, an issue that many employers can relate to. More than likely, Mary gained a host of transferable skills during this period, but the employer will not see this unless it is provided in the application or cover letter. So what should she do? Well, she can address the gap in employment right in the work history section of the job application. In this example, Mary treated this time period as a job. Mary states that she was caring for her sick mother as a primary caretaker and lists her skills. She also states she is trying to become a nurse as a result of this experience. If you volunteered when you were out of work, you may also list the skills gained from that experience in the work history as well. Let's say you were a construction worker and are between jobs, so you do odd jobs on the side. This could be used as self-employment and list the appropriate skill sets. But above all, we want to make sure that we are honest. No omissions, because they will verify your information. They may ask for transcripts and any other documentation needed. And remember to sign and date the application. That is one of the biggest errors made as well, is that after all the work that was done, job seekers forget to sign and date the application. So are online applications different? Well, let's take a look at what you need to complete an online application. Well, make sure you've got plenty of time because it will take a minimum of at least an hour. A lot of online applications also have little studies or quizzes in them, questionnaires that they want answered as well. Make sure you've got your resume and cover letter on a CD or flash drive. Send it to yourself in an email so you always have it with you. We always have to make sure, even in an online application, that the previous work experience includes dates, addresses, name of supervisor, sometimes references. A lot of times references are not asked for until after a job offer has been made. Education history. You want to make sure you've got a copy of your paper application in case they want it faxed to them. And you can use it to fill in the information while you're doing the application online. It makes the process go much faster if you're just copying it to the internet. And your email account. Make sure it's professional and conservative. Email accounts represent your values, personality, and level of professionalism. This is not the time to have a cute little email address. Set up an account if you want, strictly for your job searching practices. And as you can see from what we just discussed, it pretty much is the same information as if you would have done it by hand. So let's look at some additional tips for filling out applications. Practice, practice, practice. Should practice filling out job applications and review those applications. Next, maintain an example application that documents all your critical information and update it as needed. You should have a detailed list of work experience and skills in the form of a cheat sheet, and this should be kept in the document organizer. This information can be used to fill out your applications with employers online. So how do I divide my time during a job search? Well, building a network is critical. Spend 50% of your time building relationships with colleagues, connecting with recruiters and managers, and participating with at least 3 face-to-face meetings each week. Now, in post-coronavirus, some of those face-to-face meetings may be in Zoom meetings or Skype or doing activities online. You want to target employers and submit applications. Spend 30% of your time refining your list and strategically submitting applications. This isn't the time to just throw everything out there and see what sticks. And these are the sounds of a job search. It can be discouraging, but you will find that if you stay with it and treat it as a true job, you're going to hear no a lot. It's just part of the process. But keep in mind that you only get one chance to make a last impression. So your first contact with a prospective employer will be when they read your application. So applications do count. And let's talk about handling rejections. A rejection does not mean that you are not the ideal qualified candidate. Maybe just not for this job. And while we can say don't take it personally, it is hard not to take it personally. This isn't a time when you're trying to get your needs met through the interview. You never want to bring up the past. Focus on your strengths. Ask questions yourself. Not being the perfect match doesn't mean that you're not an outstanding professional with excellent attributes and talents. If you're using the interview to satisfy your need for professional validation, being rejected does not invalidate your professionalism. It just means the employer was looking for a different skill set or personality to fit their company. Maintain staying present. Don't let the past take over. Focus on what you're really good at and what you're passionate about. If you didn't get selected, ask for feedback from the employer. Accept that rejections are part of the job search. It's not a good idea to ask the employer why you weren't hired, but you could ask, is there anything I could have done that would have made me your ideal candidate? Being rejected doesn't mean that your professional qualification and personal attributes are anything less than spectacular. Look to accept responsibility for your part in the rejection. Take ownership for your contribution. You are not the only one applying. And finally, do an activity you've never done before and you'll rejuvenate yourself. Do something to inspire you if you have been rejected, and then jump right back into the search. In closing, make sure that you put your resume or application in a job bank. Employers search for documents in job banks to find possible candidates. Next, search job banks such as Employ Florida and apply for specific jobs. This may require responding with a system-based resume or submitting a resume or application according to directions that employers post in the system. Just as important is to research the companies. When you find a company that you are interested in, you can go to the company's website to see if the company has any jobs posted. Job seekers can then follow the employer's directions to apply directly with a company. Finally, job seekers can attend job fairs offered or facilitated by CareerSource or their community partners. Job fairs afford job seekers the opportunity to meet directly with employers to express interest in job openings and employment opportunities. And in these uncertain times, be prepared to complete your job search through virtual events. For the immediate future, virtual job fairs and networking events will become the norm. Use every available resource to identify the right jobs, develop contacts, and promote yourself as a candidate. The internet provides a wealth of information that will help in your job search efforts. That's why one of the top job search tips in 2020 emphasizes the use of this powerful tool to aid your quest. You can locate job openings, research companies, and even submit applications and resumes. You should also increase your networking efforts and focus attention on social media as well. Referrals are one of the most effective ways to land an interview and job, so seek them out. Develop a network of like-minded professionals who can alert you to new job openings and provide recommendations. Use social media platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, to connect to decision makers and others in your industry. One of the top job search tips that too many candidates neglect involves value. At every stage of the process, you should emphasize your value as an employee. In your resume, highlight instances where you provided real, tangible, quantifiable value for prior employers. Use real numbers that define that value. Employers are not just hiring you to fill a seat. They expect you to add value to their organization right away. If you understand this and emphasize those potential contributions, you'll increase your odds of landing an interview and a job. And hiring managers love numbers. For example, increase sales 16% by implementing a Facebook marketing campaign. When you're trying to find a job fast, it is vital that you remain flexible. It's often impossible to find the perfect job when you're working under any time constraints. It's equally impossible to ensure that you get the exact salary that you expect under those circumstances. So, when time is a critical factor, be flexible enough to manage your expectations. You may need to take an imperfect job that has the potential to turn into something better. The stress of any job search can take a toll on your health and well-being. Unfortunately, that can negatively impact your ability to keep up the job search pace. Make time to take care of you. Find time for leisure, reflection, and rest. Remember to eat healthy foods and keep up with your personal grooming. When you feel good, you'll be more confident. Ultimately, that confidence will help you find a job fast. It's easy to look desperate, especially when you need a job fast and feel desperate because the bills are coming in. However, that doesn't mean that you should let potential employers see that desperation. No matter how desperate you feel, never let that fear of failure show. Always approach each application and interview with sure-footed confidence and patience. This last one is critically important when you need to find a job fast, though it seems counterintuitive. Look before you leap. Research, ask questions, and make sure that the job is right for you. Are they offering you enough money? Do you see yourself leaving that new job anytime soon? Consider these and other factors before you accept the first job offer that comes along. No matter how much you want to find a job quickly, you still need to think through your options to avoid potential long-term mistakes. Good luck as you move forward in your job search efforts. Thank you for watching this presentation of job search and job application tips.